Three things I wanted to talk about on this little video. The first is a report about New Zealand needing to invest more in infrastructure development, and that was released a fortnight back now. And I thought it was encouraging that what they managed to say was what we'd been saying on our video blogs for about the last 18 months or so. Nothing profound in the idea that as a small nation we need to be up with the leading in terms of our infrastructure. We need to have good transport. We need good international transport. We need to remove barriers for congestion between our ports and our companies. We need to have rail spurs that do the right thing. We've invested a lot of money in rural and ultra-fast broadband to bring us up to international levels there. 4G is being trialled in parts of Auckland. And these are very positive steps, which perhaps don't look huge on the surface of things, but make all the difference for our competitive advantage as a nation into the future. Right. The second thing that seems to be really important is the lack of rain. And people are saying, well, driest in the Waikato for 40 years, 70 years, could have been 3,000 years for all I care. My paddocks are dry, I'm feeding out twice a day, and I keep wondering whether the bore's going to keep pumping water or not. So, drought, climate, these are really important issues, but it challenges us in New Zealand to think more clearly about the type of agricultural production we're going to have. Are we going to continue to graze paddocks? Or are we going to have to think about different ways of doing things? And we've had a huge resistance, really, to thinking about many changes in our agriculture. It has been evolving. Yes, we'd like to say we're doing good science on better seeds, better grasses. We're thinking about nutrition plans and so on. Then we come to a problem that we want to be able to shift feed from the South Island to the North Island, and we don't have enough transport. You think, oh dear, how can we be in that sort of shape? But the point I'm making here is that we need to be always looking for better ways in which we can achieve the types of production levels that we want. Now, the third one that I think is really interesting is this opposition-led inquiry into manufacturing in New Zealand, which I think some government ministers have said is revealing some interesting points, although not surprisingly there's an element of political agenda there. And is there a future for manufacturing, and what type of future for manufacturing? And so if we say we're losing certain skills, is that important per se? Or are we saying we're losing certain skills which may become important again in the future? Now, maybe that's the case. The railways workshop in Dunedin was cited as one example. Having closed it, we will never get that type of operation going again. Now, is that true? Or is it saying that if we wanted to, we might not have that type of skilled labour, but can we buy that type of labour offshore and reactivate one of these things very quickly? I think we need to be very careful in our thinking about issues in various supply chains and whether there is flexibility to improve things, whether there is a flexibility to close and then reopen at a later time. Now, it just seems to me we have to be very careful to take this sort of impassioned view out of it and look at it in a cold, hard logic as to what is best for the majority of people in New Zealand at